Miss Flores, how are you doing, babes? Hi, darling. Hi, sweetie. Let me get this up there. There's so much to do before we go live. Miss Martha, how was your day, love? Wait a minute. We got Miss Autumn up in here. Oh, this is going to be a good live. This is going to be a good live. Martha, I'm fine. You got to be nice to me. I just found out I got high blood pressure. Yes, yes, yes. You know what, darling? And we're definitely going to talk about that. We definitely going to talk about that. Oh, wait a minute. I need to, where is my link so I can give it to the peoples? There we go. Just out of curiosity, y'all cannot hear Anita Baker in the background, can you? Yeah, I gotta sanctify my area. I ain't gonna do no readings tonight, but baby, I want to be good on tonight. Nope, no, she ain't doing it. She is not doing it. Give me a second. Y'all, this Palo Santo, I need a butane lighter. There she go. 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 All right, y'all. All right. Let's see. Okay. Did I do all the things? I got all of the things. Let me get my media assets ready. And we're going to get into it. We're going to get, until then, y'all, please speak among yourselves. Hold on. And I gotta, all right, that's all done. That's all done. Okay. All right. You know, I love the StreamYard. You know, it could be made a little bit more simpler, but you know what? We're not going to complain. All right, y'all. Oh, wait. The Lady Autumn. What is up, my love? How you doing?
Girl, I've been missing you. I've been missing the lives. I've been busy though, girl. I've been busy.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Do tell. What's going down, love? What's going down? Tell me everything. Oh, Autumn, you froze, you froze, love.
Can you hear me?
There you go. There you go, baby. There you go. Okay. Tell me all, love. Tell me everything. What's going on?
Well, my twin, I call her my twin. She's been my friend for many, many years. Just basically, you know, trying to be supportive, trying to be there for her. She has to move. So she really don't have no support. So, you know, just been trying to not only being a listening ear, but, you know, just be some type of support for her. You know, so I've been trying, you know, been doing that. Also been amplifying my my artwork and stuff like that.
That's what I want.
Basically that's what kind of also I'm putting together a back to school event for the school I was fighting for because they close for good next year. So I'm gonna do a back to school event one last time for the students at the school.
That's what I wanted to hear. Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted to hear, Miss Autumn. That is what I wanted to hear.
So I've been busy.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have, honey. What is that? What did he say? Causing good trouble. Causing good trouble. Okay.
Yeah. Listen, I ain't gonna listen. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna jump back in the chat, but I had to ask you this. You know, you always you can be brutally honest.
So you know I can't do nothing else. Okay.
Okay. Now you remember the situations about the man I had in my life.
Okay? Yeah.
Okay. Well, at this point, he is doing very, 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 very well. Okay. And he happened to call his brother, the gentleman I told you I let live with me.
Yeah.
He won't call me though. He won't talk to me.
Okay.
And I'm like, it's okay. And I understand he got a woman, he got a paymaster that, helped him to elevate where he at. I get it. And the thing is, it's like, I'm grown for real. I'm not a kid. I understand. When you come home from jail and you don't have the finances to do what you need to do, you find a paymaster to help you elevate to get back on your feet. Okay. His brother started crying into me today because he feel like he shouldn't treat me, I guess, the way he feels though he treating me. And I'm like, but I don't care. And I think, me and you, we talked about this some time ago. I'm over that. It's okay. I come in this life, I've come to learn, especially as I got older. Everybody is not like me, and everybody don't do for you what you do for them. Okay. And I'm like, no matter what situation I was in, if my male friends called me, if I was in the middle of a session, you know what I'm talking about, and my phone ringing, ain't stop ringing. I'm like, hold up, give me a second. Let me answer this phone. And it's emergency. I'll be right back. That's the type of person I am.
God bless you.
They not they not like that.
When I'm deep in session and some woman's son is trying to show me what he can do, don't knock on my door. Don't ring my bell. Okay. Do not knock on my door. Do not ring my bell.
Feel good. Dr. Feel good.
This man is putting in work. Okay. This man is putting in work. Okay. And let me tell you something. I don't make it easy for him either. Nay.
Dr. Feel good. Dr. Feel good.
The point is that I move out. I'm not bragging on me, but I'm a real one. I'm moving out. Like, baby, listen, this emergency, I'll be right back. And I was lucky to have. I was lucky enough to have.
We got this man in mid sweat too. Oh, no, baby. If it ain't burning, if it ain't bleeding, baby, you can wait. You can wait at least until the sweat dries. Nay, ma'am. No. Nay. Before you go any further, let me say this to you, Autumn. Let me say this to you, Autumn. I'm gonna tell you right now. You said you wanted real. You wanted real.
Yeah.
And I ain't gotta use no cards for this. I'm gonna say this to you, baby. Why is this man's brother so invested with the fact that he's crying over the way his brother is treating you? You see what I'm saying? That to me is suspicious. You know what I'm saying? I understand that you did well for the brother. I get it. And for him to call you, Autumn, my brother is so low down or something like that. To me, those were theatrics. That's performative. You didn't need to call her to do that. What you needed to do was talk to your brother and protect her from that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
And then Autumn, and he would be very much like, okay, listen, because he could have said, hey, Autumn, listen, out of the strength of what you did for me, I need to tell you something about my brother. And here it is. And this ain't going to be an easy conversation, but because I know who you are and you got a beautiful heart, I want to protect you. I want you to be aware of something. Oh, but the crying and stuff, girl, I don't like. Why is you crying? You're weird because you don't know what this ninja is like, and you've lived with him all your life. Oh, this is new. This shit is new. This is new developments. Oh, these are new. Wait a minute. Like he just developed this type of bullshit today. And you
Right,
don't get out of here with that bullshit. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
right.
No, and wait a minute. And Autumn, I'm not saying that it is impossible. I'm not saying it's about, but baby, listen. And we're gonna get into some stuff right now. And I need you to and wait a minute. This is gonna fall part and parcel into what we're talking. And girl, and let me tell you something. It is amazing how like these topics are gonna flow right into what we're gonna talk today. And you didn't even know what we was talking about. But I'm gonna say this, baby. Now I'm not saying. Let me go about it this way. You and me are kind of alike because now you understand that the person that I was in, that I was invested in, getting them off the street and stuff like that. Okay. Now I don't know what happened. But he had a moment of clarity. And baby, I'm here to tell you, this man has been making moves on his behalf. And I, for one, could not be prouder of him. But he did lose everything. And with the little bit that I got, a friend of mine took me to the Costco today and I got him a pair of shoes and I had to do a video call. I had to do a video call with him because I had to make sure that these were the right size and that he liked them, because I don't have a car. So when anybody ever does anything for me, it's by the mercy of them. And now these gas prices, so
yes.
So wait a minute. I call him, and a young lady answers the phone, and she, oh hi, and I'm, oh hi, may I speak to so and so? Because I'm not trying to put his business out there, so you know who I'm talking.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's folding a blanket right now. I said, baby, put that man on the phone.
That's right.
Yeah, put that man on the phone. You ain't supposed to be answering his phone. I don't give a fuck what he's doing.
That's right.
I need you to get hello, hey. I need you to get on video right now, and he got on video and I'm like, oh, do these work for you? Yeah, they work for you. Okay, that's all I needed. Well, wait a minute, before you hang up, I want you to know something. I didn't tell you about her. I said, because it was none of my business and I gotta go. I gotta go pay for these. It was none of my business. There's a reason. Now, Autumn, this is Ronnie. This is Ronnie. This is not Autumn. This is Ronnie. There's a reason why they're an ex.
I agree.
And we talk about, the paymaster and stuff like that. Mama, this is what I want you to do. You got a candle or something like that. I want you to light that candle in honor of that woman. I want you to light a candle in honor of that woman because she's investing these emotions. She's investing this energy. She's investing this time and this money in a man that only sees her as a resource and not as a companion.
Absolutely.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Resource.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
What'd you say, Mr. Stevens? What is she?
A resource.
A
resource.
You mean like coal or oil or yeah, like the bill. Yeah. And wait a minute. And while we're doing that, while we are lighting that candle for her, let us also throw it out there into the universe that she develops a sense of self-esteem to where she doesn't have to feel that she's got to pick up some woman's defective son and look at him and say, oh, I can fix him. Baby, he got a crew. Please do not be part of the repair crew.
That's right.
Everybody is deserving. Everybody is entitled to some. And wait a minute. And we all got our damage. And the goal is to find somebody that is equally damaged and try not to hurt each other. See if we can grow. Okay. But Mama I know that she put money on that commissary. I know he was the finest on cell block H. Tier 13.
No, not this one. She didn't meet him till he moved to Texas.
Okay.
She didn't know. That was all me.
Okay, that's fine. But now, what was he doing in Texas? What did he have in Texas?
He moved to Texas because his mother had passed and he couldn't come here.
Mhm.
He couldn't come here
Why?
for parole.
Mhm.
Because my son was here and he's a registered gun holder.
Okay. Okay.
So he couldn't come, he couldn't stay here. So he went to Texas with his sister. Then he got his own place and he moved from Houston. Now he's in Austin, Texas. They say he living in a mansion. I say, God darn, I said, do that, baby.
I had to look. Wait a minute. I got the moon on my background, and I had to look. Baby, she is performing tonight. She's out my window. I'm gonna get. Listen. Today's gonna come. I'm gonna get a good camera so I can show you all. Yes, baby. I love where my tarot table is at. I'm sorry, I had to divert for that. But listen, Miss Autumn. This is all I'm saying. Is that you know what?
I'm happy for Miss Ronnie. It ain't no hate over here. So no, I don't know where all that came from today because I'm happy for him. Like, you know, it's all good.
Yeah. No. And the thing is, though, Miss Autumn, was that it was the performance of the brother crying because he's treating you the way he's treating you and stuff like that. See, right there, baby, that gave me all kinds of red flags. All kinds of red flags. So you asked, and that's what I had. You asked, and that's what I had. So all there you go. But Mama, I'm happy that you're doing things. I'm happy you're moving in the right direction.
Yes, baby. Yep.
And
all
there
right.
we go.
I'm gonna drop down so Michael can talk to you. I'm in the chat. I'm going to the chat.
All right. Okay, bye-bye. All right. Mr. Stevens, how you doing?
Hello. I'm actually fine. I'm fine. For the past couple of nights, I've been having more energy. I don't know why, but I've been doing really good. And I wanted to get your opinion on something just really quick. Did you see the video of Dr. Candace Matthews in Texas?
Yes. Yes.
I can't believe she was that crunk to get in that man's face like that. And the man, he said, I'll make you taste the ancestors. I'm like, oh, wow. The audacity of some people.
Sweetheart, I'm telling you, Mr. Stevens, after COVID, people have lost their mind. People have lost their mind. And this whole Anita Grayson incident, baby, that's another thing. You know, that's another thing that's been going on. You know, and you know, one day, Mr. Stevens, when I do another channel on politics or pop culture things, we will definitely talk about that. But I will say this to you. That for the last 2 nights, for the last 2 days, and then tonight, with the astrology, the emotions have been overload. They've been overload. And I'm going to drop you down, and we're going to start this live tonight with that. Okay. All right. Thank you for stopping up, baby. Thank you for stopping up. Oh, I love that, Mr. Stevens. All right. So, both in both instances with what Miss Autumn brought to the table, and then what Mr. Stevens was pontificating on about, you know, we're going to talk about why people stay stuck where they're at, even when they truly want better. So Monday and Tuesday, we had Mars and Taurus squaring up with Pluto retrograding in Aquarius. And on Monday, that was, that was emotionally, people were getting stubborn. People were being very reactive. Tuesday, we went from the internal, and then we moved into the external. Same transit. It was the same transit. Mars and Taurus squaring up with Pluto retrograding, in Aquarius. But the pressure was deeper. The pressure was deeper on Tuesday. And then today we had this moon in Libra. And so we went from internal to external to today. During the day, we were at a breaking point. There was a lot of pressure going on. We was at a breaking point. And with when I give the forecast, I give you all do's and don'ts and shit like that. And so, like I was saying, the astrology lately had been exposing old emotional habits. They've been exposing like survival mode thinking, fear, self-sabotage, the identities that people keep rehearsing internally inside. And so, when we do the tarot, I got to get into the psychology and then the subconscious mind. And also, we got to talk about like the nervous system doing all of that madness. So these past few days astrologically have been very, very heavy. Not just emotionally heavy, but very mentally heavy too. And a lot of people were realizing they truly want better, but they keep falling back into the same reactions, into the same fears, into the same habits, into the same old emotional cycles. All right. And look at me. I'm just talking and I ain't got none of my media assets up here. Okay, here we go. Pluto in retrograde. There we go. Wait a minute. There we go. Pluto retrograde. Okay. So tonight I wanted to talk about why that happens, because people think that self-sabotage means that I don't want any better, but that's not always true. A lot of times people sabotage their blessings because deep down, they don't feel emotionally prepared to keep the blessings. Did you catch what I said? A lot of times people will sabotage their blessings because they don't feel deep down inside that they are emotionally prepared to keep the blessings. So that's going to be the real conversation today. So, let's start right there, because if we're honest, most people are not stuck in this mindset by accident. So I'm going to ask you, and be honest with yourselves. You ain't got to put it in the chat. You can just be honest, okay? Have you been feeling like you want to change, but something keeps pulling you back? You ain't got to put it in the chat. That just keep that question going. Just keep that question in your mind. Have you felt like you want something better, but something just keeps pulling you back? So we're going to move on to this portion right here. All right. Why people stay stuck. Most people are not stuck because they're lazy. Most people are stuck because their nervous system got trained to survive stress. They got stuck because the nervous system got trained to survive the disappointment, to survive instability, to survive rejection, to survive fear or emotional chaos. So when peace finally shows up, it feels unfamiliar. And anything unfamiliar can feel unsafe to the body. And that's why people push healthy love away. That's why people push, they procrastinate on their opportunities, or when they start a goal, they quit too early. They overthink everything. They expect the worst, or they stay in very toxic environments and they keep repeating unhealthy habits. And not because they consciously want the suffering, but because the suffering became an emotional familiarity. Okay, let me look in the chat. Let me make sure I'm not losing anybody. A rabbit said, yeah, she felt it. Yep, she felt it. All right, baby, let me get back to my media assets. All right. And y'all, if you could share the live, if we get some more people up in here, that would be great. So, this is the part that most people don't realize. And that is, your mind is not trying to punish you. It's only trying to repeat what feels familiar. Let me say that again. Your mind is not trying to punish you. It's trying to repeat what feels familiar. So with me saying that, here's a question for you. Is it that you really don't want better, or is better just unfamiliar? Because when you can ask the proper question, you're going to get your immediate response. You know, and like here it is. Somebody pushing their a healthy love away. Here it is. The mind, right here, the mind. Look at that chain. Staying in an environment that you know is toxic, but because you're familiar with it, it feels safe. Yep. You see, here, let me say that here. Let me get my next asset up. Here we go, right here. Okay. The brain is going to repeat what feels normal. See, how do I want to say this? The subconscious mind loves what is familiar, even if the shit is unhealthy. And that's why some people keep recreating the same situations with different people. Different relationships, same pain. Different job, same burnout. Different friendship, same disappointment. Because the internal program never changed. And you can't build a peaceful life while mentally rehearsing the survival every day. So now we go a layer deeper, because it's not just behavior, it's conditioning. So before I go any further, let me ask you something. What feels more normal to you right now? Is it peace or is it pressure? What feels normal to you? You don't have to put nothing in the chat you don't want to, but ask yourself right now, what feels normal to you? Does the pressure, does the chaos feel normal, or does peace feel normal? Your healing is on the other side of that answer. People sabotage their own blessings. People sabotage their own peace. And sometimes that self-sabotage will look obvious. And sometimes the shit is real subtle. We will allow this shit to come out of our mouths. We'll say something like, oh, this probably won't last. Or something always goes wrong. Or I knew it was too good to be true. Or, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Or, I don't trust this. That is your mind. That is your mind rehearsing the disappointment before it even unfolds. And after a while, the body starts living in a defense mode automatically. Some people will sabotage their blessings because they fear the disappointment, or they fear being vulnerable for the blessings to come through. Or if the blessing does come through, they don't want the responsibility of the blessing, or they fear change. They fear becoming unfamiliar to themselves. Yeah, wait a minute. I want to repeat that last one, because that one was deep. Let me do the whole thing all over again. Some people will sabotage their blessings because they fear becoming unfamiliar to themselves. That one is deep. That one right there is deep. Let y'all sit with that one for a second. Some people are more attached to who they've been than to who they are becoming. Let me look in the chat. Let me see what's going on. Okay, Miss Autumn said that's on point. Miss Autumn said that's me all the way. And then Rabbit says, or they fear losing what they already, wait a minute, you know what, baby? While I was preparing, I never thought about that. Thank you for that one, love, because that one is very true. Absolutely. Absolutely. They've been in survival mode for so long that the trauma of possibly losing something that they worked so hard for will prevent them from reaching out for further. Baby, that was very good. On point, Miss Sarah. On point, Lady Sarah. Thank you. So yeah. So let's call this what it is. Oh, wait a minute. I got to get back to my media assets. Excuse me, y'all. What was I saying? Yeah, let's call this what it is. All right. This is how people start blocking their own blessings without even noticing, because they are so addicted to their struggle. So with me saying that, let me say this. Where do you notice yourself pulling back right when things are going well? Where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself? The moment something is going going smooth, things are going right. At what point when things are going right, does that voice come in and goes, "Oh, here we go. Okay, this ain't gonna last." You got to examine that, y'all. Me too. Me too. But now we couldn't come into this without bringing in the tarot. So the energy of this tarot, right off the bat, the energy of this tarot right here is the devil. The devil card, it talks about attachment. And we're talking about the attachment to fear. We're talking about attachment to toxic cycles. We're talking attachment to emotional bondage, attachment to old identities. That's what that is. Those chains, they're not chained to each other. They're chained to the thoughts of each other. They're chained to the ideas of who they are, not who they really are. And we do that all the time. We do that all the time. We cannot talk about this transformative energy if we don't talk about the death card right here. Wait, right there. This card, Hollywood has done a number on this card. We're not talking about a physical death. With this card, we're talking about transformation. We're talking about the ending of an outdated version of ourselves. That's what this card is bringing about. That's what this card talks about. The shit that no longer serves us. So, you got, wait a minute, y'all. Oh, excuse me. The thing transferred. All right. So yeah, that's what we gotta, ask ourselves. Are we done? Are we done with this bullshit? And you gotta ask yourself, holding on to them old identities, how are they working for you? When you answer that, we come to this card right here, Judgment. Yeah, you see that angel? You see Gabriel blowing that horn? Baby, we're talking about the Great Awakening. We're talking about finally seeing the patterns clearly, finally realizing I keep repeating the shit that I haven't healed. That's what this card is talking about. Waking up and seeing where you're sabotaging your blessings. And with awareness comes responsibility. And when you become aware, we move on to this one. The very beginning of the tarot, the Fool. Look at that. Right there on the edge of wonder. Okay? Without a care in the world. And right there, the little dog. You see the little dog? Now you got to ask yourself, that is a spirit guide. Is that spirit guide trying to warn the young guy that he's about to fall off this cliff? Or is that spirit guide celebrating in the fact that this young man has faith that before he falls, he's going to fly? See, this is where we have to, when we look at the fool, we really have to understand what side of our mind we're operating off of. See, this card right here, this is trusting yourself enough to walk towards a new life, even when the shit feels unfamiliar. Spiritually, this is not new energy. The tarot has been showing this pattern to us for a very long time. So now here's the question I want to ask you when I talk about that. Does this feel like a pattern you've been in before, or is this just in a different form? Are you repeating shit? Before I go on, let me look and see what's going on. Let me see my comments. Yes, miss. Yes, something. Something's getting ready to happen bad. And you got to define bad, Miss Autumn. You got to define bad. Bad for the old identity, or because here it is. You've heard me say it before. Fear. How do I say? Fear is not real. Danger is. Fear is not real. Danger is. And wait a minute. Listen, the lady Sarah, she got on me right before I can even say it. What did she say? Hold on. She said false evidence appearing real. Fear. That's the shit we create. And we do it out of protection. We do it out of protection because we've been in survival mode, because we've been traumatized so much that that's the only way that we know how to feel. But what if I told you all, here, listen to this, and ain't this a bitch? What if I told you that there is people out here that do not operate like that? You know what it does to me? I'll tell you what it does to me. It makes me jealous. I want to be those people. I want to be just like them. And I'm working on it. I want to wake up with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. I don't want anxiety no more. I don't want to dread the day. And listen, I come up on here and I'll flip these cards and I'll say these little things, and I know the information. But me exposing myself to letting you all know that I'm just as vulnerable as you, that to me, I just want you all to know that you can hear the message. Don't rely on the messenger. Hear the message, because I'm working the shit out just like everybody else. And I tell you what, I got to give credit where credit is due. I'm doing way better about it. I would definitely say that. Wait a minute. What did Sarah say? Knowing and doing, they are two very distinctive, different things. Yes, they are, love. Yes, they are. Because the doing, let's break it down, Sarah, for what it is. Because the doing requires crossing that bridge in your mind away from the fear. That doing requires you to be vulnerable. That doing requires you to take that chance that it may or may not work out. But here's the thing, whether it works out or not, here's what we need to hold on to, is that even if it doesn't work out, we know that we're going to be okay, and not to shy away from that goal, but to keep going back on. Because when we go back, we're not going back, looking dumb. We're going back with experience. That's some things that's some shit we do not do. We don't give ourselves enough credit for that. Change feels very, very uncomfortable. It feels so uncomfortable. Yeah. Because listen, the reason why change is so uncomfortable is because we want to bypass what happens before we change, and that is heal. Healing is not just mental, it's a physical thing too. Our bodies get used to certain emotional states. Some people have lived in stress so long that calmness feels strange. Some people have lived in emotional chaos for so long that stability feels boring. Some people have lived in disappointment so long that, and this one right here will make me cry. Give me a second, y'all. Some people have lived in disappointment so long that hope feels risky. And that's why people return to old habits even after their spiritual breakthroughs. The mind is saying we're growing, but the nervous system says this doesn't feel familiar. I got to go back. But even with awareness, there's still a reason change feels so uncomfortable. So let me ask y'all, do you notice your mind automatically going to the worst case scenario? For me, I'll be very honest with you. It's a 50-50 split. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And listen, when I'm at work, not when I'm at the salon, but when I'm at that other job, I'm the one that is tipping the balance in the other way because I am surrounded by people that see the doom and gloom. I'm the one that is always tipping the scale, and again, healing is a physical thing too, because like I said, our nervous system, is so used to us replaying that shit. Right here, my good friend, Neville Goddard, right there, right there. Hey, Neville, what you doing, baby? And the thing is, y'all, we have got to stop rehearsing our old selves. And this is where the work begins. You have to start catching the old programming while it happens. When you find yourself, when you think that you hear your mind say, nothing ever works for me, you need to take a pause. Let's do that game right now. We in a situation that's really good. All right. How about this? How about listen, it's something that we can all relate to, okay? How about this? We had a good day at work. It was easy breezy. For once, we did not hate going to work. And all of the bills are paid. And we got a couple of rubles to put in our savings account. And you think about, oh wow, this is really good. Ugh, but watch, something's gonna happen. Or I'm gonna have to change the tire on the car, or something's going, let's pretend we do that. Here's where the work comes in. We need to pause right there where you in that mid thought, and then you've got to really ask yourself, and it works better if you verbally say it out loud, because the mind recognizes the verbal. We have to ask ourselves, is this true, or is this an old emotional habit? When we can do that, my little terabytes, that changes everything. That changes everything. Because again, that awareness is going to interrupt that autopilot. And that's where a lot of this shit comes from, is from us, working on autopilot. Awareness alone isn't enough. You need a new way to respond in new time. So here's a question. What do you usually tell yourself right before you start overthinking anything? Have you ever stopped and asked yourself those questions? So this, I don't want to say this. With what I just gave you right now, if you could catch yourself one time doing that through the course of the day, if you could do that one time during the course of the day, that is what's actually going to help you people, like I'm not a part of it. That's what actually is going to help people level up. Because leveling up, it's not just about motivation, it's repetition. We have to repeatedly introduce ourselves to a healthier identity. Let me say that again. We have to repeatedly introduce ourselves to a healthier identity. And that means changing our inner dialogue. That means creating a healthier routine. That means setting boundaries. That means allowing ourselves to rest. That means practicing emotional awareness. I know Mr. Stevens says he journals. That means we got to journal honestly. We got to pray intentionally. We need to learn how to regulate our emotions and speak differently over our lives. We need to learn how to speak differently over our lives and not this fake positivity shit. Oh, I do. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate that toxic positivity. Oh, that toxic positivity will wear me out. We got to intentionally be aware. And this is where identity comes in, because everything shifts at the level of I am. Did you hear what I said? Everything shifts at the level of I am. Y'all, if you're paying attention to what I'm saying right now, here's a good question for you. What identity have you been rehearsing without you even realizing it? You ain't got to answer it. But again, what identity have you been rehearsing without even realizing it? You know, I said the I am. Wait a minute. Do I have let me see. Give me a second, y'all. I want to see. Nope. Nope, that ain't it. Nope. Nope, that ain't it either. There we go. There we go. This is the I am connection. Whatever follows I am is going to shape your identity. And I'm going to throw my bullshit out here on these YouTube streets with y'all, so that you all don't have to think that you got to do it alone. I hear people, including myself, say every day, I'm tired, I'm broke, I'm unlucky, or I'm hard to love. When you say that shit, your subconscious starts to organize around those words. However, when you begin saying, I am healing, I am becoming stable, I am learning peace, I am safe enough to grow, I am no longer attached to the old pain, we slowly stop rehearsing the old shit. We stop rehearsing that identity that kept us in that chaotic emotional spiritual state. So at the end of the day, it comes down to what we keep rehearsing every single day. So right now, and again, do not do this unless you want to share. But I'm going to ask you, if you had to finish this sentence honestly, I am what would come up first? Honestly. I know what you all feel the right answer should be. Oh, you want to put in something positive. But when we sit there with that question and we answer it honestly, I am I am tired, or I am hurt, or whatever it is, that is universal mind saying that is what we got to work on. Wait a minute, I see. Oh, wait a minute, my thing is telling me I got comments. Identity of everything's on fire. Okay, baby. But when things literally do catch fire, it makes me laugh because honestly, it has to get better at this. Okay, so you use it as preparation. I get it. And Miss Allen, I'm afraid. And wait a minute, and Lady Sarah, I'm deeply paranoid. Same thing, different wording. But here's the thing. For anybody that can answer that, and you put it up on here, I am afraid. I am deeply paranoid. The next sentence has to be, however, I am very honest. And when you are standing in that arena of authenticity, when you are being authentic and vulnerable and mentally, spiritually naked, like Lady Sarah says, at that point, the only place to come up is up. Yep. This is right, and again, I came on because of these transitions, because of Mars and Taurus and fucking up with Pluto in Aquarius, retrograding in Aquarius, and then today with that the Libra moon. These were deeper lessons for these transitions right now. People are being shown what they are still clinging to. People are being shown what emotional habits still control them. People are being shown what fears still automatically, run them, what identity they keep rehearsing internally. And here's the truth, y'all. Here's the truth. You cannot fully step into new life while emotionally worshiping the old one. Let me say that again. You cannot step into into new life, while emotionally worshiping the old one. Eventually, you're going to have to decide. Do you want to keep repeating survival, or do you want to become familiar with peace? Do you want to keep repeating this survival mechanism, or do you want to become familiar with what peace feels like? Because transformation is going to start the moment you stop identifying with the version of you that only knew the struggle. And that's when the shift is going to begin. Not through force, not through pretending, but through awareness, through consistency, through choosing differently long enough for the new version of you to finally feel natural. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. So here's a question. Here's a question. Are you ready to stop rehearsing? Are you ready to stop rehearsing that old version of you? Or is there still something you're holding on to? Yeah. I I didn't think I was going to go that deep. You know, I had my little skeleton bullet points, but I know I was going to go that deep. And this was deep. And this was deep. I don't want to end this live with this right here. I definitely want to give you all something to hold on to. Hold on. What is that? What is? Give me a second. All right, Mama. Autumn. Let it go, and baby, be swept away. Go ahead and be swept away, baby. Wherever the forces of the universe land you, I promise you, without resistance, you're going to be better off than what you started. And I still have work to do on that front. And you want to know something, though, Lady Sarah? What did I say? Awareness. Awareness. And that's the first step. Y'all, the ancestors are talking to me. Okay. Everyone, get into your body. Take a deep breath and get into your body. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Divine Mind. Tonight, we release old stories. We release the old fears, the old emotional habits, and the old version of ourselves that no longer fit where we are going. Help us to stop rehearsing the pain, the struggle, and the limitation. Teach us how to become familiar with peace and with stability and with healing and with trust. We affirm that we are no longer trapped by this old thinking. I am growing. I am healing. I am becoming emotionally free. I am safe enough to evolve. And may our minds and our bodies and our spirits align with the life that we've been praying for. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Shit. Ooh. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. That one wore me out tonight. That one wore me out tonight. And so it is, yes. And so it is. I dropped the link. Anybody want something to say in closing? If not, we're gonna close out this live. Ooh. There's a lot of energy I was coming through. All right, y'all. Listen, I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. You know, think about what we talked about and just know that, you know, healing is available to us, that, you know, that we are not required to relive the bullshit that we've gone through. We can use all of that as a stepping stone. We can use all of that as a stepping stone to get us into something better. All right. All right, y'all. Mr. Stevens, Miss Martha, Lady Sarah, Lady Autumn, thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all for letting me pontificate on this. And again, our assignment is our alignment. And again, it's right there at the tip of our tongues. We can ask the universe to show me how good it can be. Show me how good it can be. All right. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. You all stay blessed. Good night.